Hey guys, how goes it? Hopefully you guys are all having a toasty warm day. We got hit with the polar whatever's going on right now in southern Wisconsin, so it's probably the coolest temperatures we've seen in a couple years, maybe. I don't know, it's been sort of negative 10 all day. Well, it was negative 10 in the morning and like it warmed up to zero, but it's been sunny, you know, from inside. It's a good day to be inside and looking at the weather versus being outside. Anyway, hello everyone. Hi Dawn. Hi T. Hi Jim. Hi other people. Oh, Judy. Lennox says hello. I don't know. I don't know if the vocal mic picks up cat meows or not, but he just had snacks, so hopefully he'll be more or less behaved. Yeah, he's gonna go perch. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. It was. Oh, hey Shauna, how are you? I saw your stream. Shauna and a few other people had a really good stream with Lynn on Saturday, which was yesterday. I'm kind of messed up because as of 2 years ago, they started giving us Martin Luther King Day off. So, like, I was able to sort of slack on some of my projects that I wanted to get done this weekend because I'm like, oh, I have Monday. I can do it then. And my folks are traveling to warm places soon. So, um, I don't know. I should have freer weekends, which will be nice for crafting. Although I don't know. Like I always. Oh, hi, Delise. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, hi, Blossom. I didn't. Oh, there you are. I was like, I didn't see you come in, but Delise is here to let us know who comes in when I'm paying attention to other things. But anyway, yeah, we were all safe. My dad decided he wanted to run a bunch of errands, which I was kind of like, and I get it because they're going out of town soon. But anyway. They're flying they always like to fly through Atlanta, so it's a little bit of, less risky, like, you're not gonna get stuck in the middle. I think years of commuting between Connecticut and Wisconsin on planes, it was sort of like, well, it's great unless Detroit or Chicago get screwed up, which happens all the time. Oh, hi, Lala, how are you? But let us see, but we have I don't know. Miss Bell, welcome. We don't really calling it a challenge would be unfair, but I thought I would combine three things I wanted to do anyway, and a cat who's on my desk. Hello, Mr. Cat. Let's move you off the desk. Will the filter let you say hello? Sort of. You don't look up. My cat, not a fan of camera angles, but I don't know. He's been very cuddly all day. because it's been cold. But anyway, I had a challenge from T and Dawn to basically utilize some of my Tim Holtz distressed oxides, which I apparently have like 30 of and use very little. I've used Vintage Photo for the thing everybody uses Vintage Photo for, like distressing the edges of things, particularly like last fall. But let us jump down to the desk and talk about some stuff, and then we're going to make a card. Oh, hello. Hello, Stacy. Welcome. Welcome to you as well. He is a kitty. He's 12 going on about 6 months because I don't know. He was kind of the kitty. He's my kitty who never grew up. My other black cat thinks he has a job, so I don't know. We shall see. Whoops. And that's the wrong thing. There we go. Now you can see my desk. And I actually was cleaning and found all these Tim Holtz blending dealies. So um I also have new blending brushes, so we'll see. But Cordelia, who I don't know is here or not, was curious about my swatching that I've been doing for the last week or so. And this was the Grabby palette that I got for my birthday. And it comes with a swatch card, which I forgot to put in. And this is the metallic side. It has some pretty cool neons. Let me see if I can tweak my lighting a little bit so this looks more like real life. For some reason, well, I know the reason, but um sometimes there we go. Sometimes things look a little not quite life. Anyway, this is the swatch card that came with it, and you basically get 50 sort of specialty like metallic and so you get metallic and you get neon and you get some pearl colors which are very not pearlescent. They just look like normal watercolors really. Um and then you get the sort of main palette of like, normal watercolors. Whoops, sorry, wasn't on camera. But this is really good because it fits in the palette, but it's really not great because it's like a little too small to see anything. And it does come with this nice little divider, which is good if half your palette is wet and you put it away upside down. Um, and I haven't pulled this apart to figure out how deep these pans are. That's never really been a problem with any watercolor palette for me. It's like, I don't know. This is like a $30 palette for all that paint. So I don't know that I've ever actually run into a case where let's see. What are you missing? Hi, Pam. How are you? There we go. Yeah, I don't know. You didn't get anything from the power company, interestingly. All the drains and pipes and all the things work, so I was pretty happy. Hey, ECR, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I have a like a loft with a it's like an open floor plan, but it's like a loft with a high ceiling in the living room, so it's like all the high air goes upstairs. So it's like 70 upstairs, but it's like 65 here. So, it is what it is. Anyway, I guess I should get to the point. Anyway, I wanted a better swatch, and I got this actual now very much loved swatch stamp from Waffle Flower that gives you basically a space for a mass tone and then a gradient and a space to put the name. But I have doctor handwriting, so I always kind of go over the line. So basically, that's what these are. They're in the same order as the palette. And there's kind of a well, you could probably see if I grab a blank page. So this is an Arteza book, and like all the paper has a thin side and then a textured side. So I just basically made a pocket out of this by just doing glue here and here and smushing it together. So these look a little janky, but That way, if I have other things or do other samples, I can just sort of tuck it in the top here. Anyway, and then I dropped the stamp, so we just made it into a fun little character. But they're pretty nice. You see a few color enhancer things. Like some of these, you can see that the black line is very not that visible, and other ones it is. So I mean, that's more of a thing. Oh, I can grab an example. Card down. Anyway, so this is my Ian card from yesterday's stream, which I wasn't a part of, but I was crafting along. But if you look at him, I don't know if this will read properly on camera, but you can see that the actual like line art has been kind of not on the pants. The pants look really crisp, but on his face you can see where the flesh color, which is this cinnamon, which does it really badly. Whoop, there we go. You can see where it kind of gets hazy. So like if you wanted to fix this, you just then restamp everything when you're done. But it's handy to know, right? Because you could grab, say, grab like this pink, right? And just use a very weak strength of the pink, and then find like a brown and use a weak strength of the brown. And basically you'd have none of that as an issue. So anyway, you couldn't see the colors I was pointing at, but so this is the main palette, and then the metallics start here. I forget if I and then I swatched all the metallics on black just because they look totally different on black. The biggest one is this guy, who on black is like very blue shifted. And if I can find it, it's this one here. But on white, it is not blue shifted and is like a purple. And in the pan, it looks purple. But if you were to paint it out, it would look blue. There's a lot of metallics in here, which is kind of the thing that is sort of a love it or hate it. Blue metallics are particularly good. I think the blues in this palette are just sort of strong anyway. Like I like pretty much all these blues. Speaking of blue, did you know we had a snow challenge going on Lynn's Facebook group? If you didn't, now you do. And feel free to submit any project involving snow between now and the end of the month. And we are drawing for at least one prize package. And let me see. Oh, look, Lynn is here in time for me to talk about my challenge in her group. Not yet. I'm about to. I ramble. Anyway, so I pulled all the blues I owned, and I'm gonna walk through this. I think I'm gonna go with these two for my blend. Um, but if we have smart people, we can talk about it. So we have peacock feathers, which to me, at least on the packaging, looks very teal. Obviously, I have not swatched out these ranger colors at all. Um, tumbled glass feels more like a teal than like a true blue. I feel like this broken china is kind of my optimal winter blue. Although tumbled glass probably would work. I thought that Salty Ocean, yeah, reading these also have weird names. I thought Salty Ocean and these two would be pretty good, but I'm also thinking like these two might be good. I might do these. Um, Stormy Sky looks much more of a muted color, which isn't quite the vibe I think I want to go for today. Um, so I think Stormy Sky and Peacock Feathers are kind of out, and we can probably play with these. So the let's get the let's get the wrappers off because that would make them a lot easier to blend with. And my thought for today was I wanted to case a Christmas card I really liked, which is basically a snowy winter scene. And the thing I liked about it was it had a really neat sort of blend. It was a printed card, so it wasn't ink, obviously, but it was whoa, Craft Avalanche. Let me just cut a panel and get something to blend on, and then we can start playing. But it was a winter scene, and then there was snow over the top of it. And I'm thinking what we could do. Let me cut this a little big in case I want to trim it down later. So I'll just cut this to like a full panel, and I'm probably going to want to trim it down, but cut it 4 1/4 to 5 1/2. This is Michael's cardstock for what that's worth. Um, I don't know if anyone has suggestions before I completely half-ass this. Yeah, it's when you reorganize your craft room and find stuff you forgot about. You'd appreciate this. So I was looking at as people who watch these streams will know, I have never heat embossed anything. But when I was going through my heat embossing storage bin, because of course I have all the things, I just don't do it. I found 3 more distress oxides. I'm kind of mad because this pine needles, I think, well, sorry, this pine needles would have been pretty dope for Christmas. And peeled paint looks like would be good too. Although in the realm of other project, and I have an extra twisted citron because twisted citron is the best color. Not necessarily in distressed oxides, but like just in general. Oh, hi T. Yeah, Pick Skipper Craft generates a lot of mess. What was the worst ones? The daily, what will I blend on? Here's some used packaging material. Let's recycle. And then I won't destroy my desk. Um, I'm thinking I'm going to start out with I don't know. I think I'll start out with Broken China. I really kind of I like this vibe. It reminds me a lot of It's a Boy. And we can get into I had a flat blender on this. I just took it off because I realized that, you know, in the realm of things I don't use, I had a lot of these blending foams. And I was watching the Distress color reveal and I was like, oh, I didn't realize these things came in minis. And sometimes I just find these kind of a pain to work with. So I'm kind of intrigued by the minis. What else was I going to tell you before I got started? Oh, I found my stencil and I found I kind of jacked this up somehow, but it seems to still work pretty well. I did a color test on top of some navy. So I'm thinking I'll use a little white pigment ink to do some stenciling once we have the blend. So, as I recall, these aren't foam pads, so we'll see. Hopefully this picks up color. Oh, it's picking up color. That's good. So let's just go. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, and it definitely, I mean, these pigment inks definitely have more of I think I'm going a little too heavy-handed, but these pigment inks definitely have more of like a paint vibe to me than, well, I'll say than some of my other things. I think I'll just maybe do a little something something here. But allegedly these should be really blending. So if we grab tumbled glass, oh, yeah. Well, that's a good thing to know for later. Perhaps multiple of these handle thingies would be good. Because boy, that Velcro really sticks it down. I'm liking this color blend. And then I got ink all over my hand. So, there we go. Sometimes life happens. But it'll be nice to sort of have these because then I'll know next time like how close these colors are to reality. But they're kind of odd pads. But I don't know. I kind of there was a brand of ink I wound up not liking very much because of ooh, okay. Wow. These blend really smooth, don't they? Well, this isn't too. And I was curious how long these things took to dry, because I was hoping I wouldn't have to heat set things, and I don't think I will. I'm kind of liking this. It definitely gives you sort of a like a bled out look. That's probably not the right term, but whoops. Ah. And it gives you a lot more of a I'm getting a lot more of a dustier finish, I guess I would say. Um, but these little foam things help a lot. And I think just sort of like taking one color and blending it into the other is helping. I don't know that I actually needed to really change blender brushes. These are probably close enough that I could have gotten done with one. But since we bothered opening it, let's just go in with this. Whoa! Where did you go? You ran away. Hmm. There's a little foam blendery thing run off on me. It's somewhere on my desk. I'll have to look for that later. Let's try out this third one. Oh, here it is. It didn't go too far. So yeah, like you can see that these are pretty close colors. He has a whole color chart. Oh, this is much more vibrant. Ooh, this will be interesting. Wow. Okay. I'm kind of liking this though. I like it with the more vibrant ink, but definitely you definitely feel like you can kind of build with them too. But now I want to go and come back in with that first color, I think, because I like this, but we kind of lost that. I don't know. I suppose since I mean, this wouldn't be horrible for what since I want to use something else on top of this anyway, but um, I think is the first one. Yeah, in with a little more broken china. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like they behave much more like a paint, I would say, is kind of how I feel about them. I mean, obviously they're not and they dry very quickly, but there we go. Sort of a really neat sort of effect. As I recall, I think they're also water activatable, so like if I spritz this a little bit, well, we could try that actually. Shall we try a quick spritz to see what happens? Oh, oh well, that would have been good to know. Dry before layering. Why is that, Jim? Did that sort of prevent the colors from all mixing into one color? Oh, good. Well, I hope you get there, Pam. Yeah, it is. I've actually never blended oxides before. Well, where did I put my? I have a spritzer here somewhere. It may have suffered from some cleaning. Where would I be if I was a spritzer? One moment. Let me see. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Ha! It was right where it was supposed to be. I would never look there. You can go over the top of it with the lighter colors and still try. Okay. Well, let's. This actually dried. I'm kind of surprised it dried so quickly. Well, let's see what this does. Ooh, that kind of did cool stuff. Let me see if I can't dry this. The only good thing about it being like a million degrees below zero is like there are lots of there are lots of drying things available. Although man, this crinkled the cardstock. Do, 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 da, da. So now we got sort of this dropletty effect. It's kind of pretty sweet. I'm kind of liking that. I do think going in with like I could see going back in with a lighter color. Oh, let me see if I miss things. Oh, okay. So I would go back in with like the sea glass on top of the darker color. I could dab it with a paper towel, and we can mist it again. So I'll just mist it a little bit. That was more than a little bit, but then if we go and dab this, what do we get? We lifted a bunch of color. And oh, well, that's interesting. Now that's actually making it sort of lifts the color. That's interesting. That's definitely bringing a lot of the original blue back. Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can't dry this down a little bit quick. And do you need to use like an actual tool to like heat set when you don't have hot air blowing in your craft room accidentally? Because yeah, this is still a little damp, but that's okay. I like that. It's interesting. It's pretty subtle, but I like the idea. But you were saying if I totally dry this off, oh, if we totally dry this out, it will. Yeah, this is pretty dry. So you're saying we could go back in like dab on with like a super light color, and then actually we could do that with the white. Let's try that. That's still kind of damp, or at least damper than I would like. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's really interesting. As it dries down, you really can see the color variation a lot more. That's pretty fun, actually. The water warps the paper, not designed for water, obviously, but we have glue and can fix that. Uh, Hit it with a little more heat. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. I like it. I like the subtleness of it. And like this was the original paper color, so it definitely hit a little bit. So sorry, fam, about leaving comments on the screen forever and ever. So let's cut another one. Let's try to do this a little more intentionally. That's a good word. Whatever. Well, so what if we, rather than haphazardly doing it, what if we just sort of blend out a circle here and try that thing you guys just suggested doing? Just gonna, I'm gonna put most of the color in the middle, but I'm just gonna sort of tappy tappy a little bit just to make it look not complete totally crazy. Okay. So if we do that, what I'm thinking is I can pull in a lighter color from the side. But let's do the thing Jim suggested and let's actually see if we can dry that. I'm assuming drying it basically means it won't as easily reactivate. There we go. Yeah, that's, I'll grab this guy because I do think the, I do like the broken china and the tumbled glass together. Anyway, so I'm gonna pick up some of this. Let's just blend it in from the side. Let's leave a little of the original paper. What I'm curious of is if I just bring this in. Oh yeah, you can see that will layer on top. Ooh, that's cool. And let's just do a little there to sort of break up that. And yeah, I would like to go back and I would kind of like to ink edge this, I think. Just a little, just to sort of give us more of a frame kind of a look. Yeah, that is making me happy. Boop. Good. And there's a little, yeah. Okay. Let me just heat set this guy. Not really, but at least get the ink to be a little more dried down. It's interesting. It's like they're almost two different looks. Like this one is I do like how you get like even without water, you get very soft transitions. That is a neat look. I feel like this first one will actually work better so that we can go in and just do a little snow stenciling on this to make this more of a snowy card. Note to self, get more handles. Cause like oh sorry, I'm a little off screen. But in that cleaning thing I was doing, oh, you suggest watercolor paper, Pam? I'm assuming that prevents the warping. Hello, the slow crafter. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome. Well, we have lots of paper. Lynn knows my saga of yeah, we'll use watercolor paper. And we can do another wet one. What do we have? Is this watercolor paper or mixed media? This is we'll use our cheap watercolor paper because it's here on my desk. So this is the textured side you're supposed to watercolor on. So let me see if this is it's at least five and a it's at least A2 size. So let's just do a little bit. And we have two. Yeah, almost. No, we have two. So I think our previous entry, we could actually do teal. Let's do teal. Let's play with that other color. Does it look like a fun color? And we can. The good news is that I sort of prepped a cheat to make a card quickly. So whenever we get, once we try this, we can't actually make a real card. Um, because Cordelia had gifted me some of these pre-done foiled sentiments, so we can just use the background as the background. Anyway, I want to try this guy. This looks like a dark color, so I'm guessing I would do it first. I'm curious if I. Oh, I guess I should ask before I put ink on this one. Do you recommend pre-spritzing the paper at all, or not so much? Oh, I saw it. I didn't really. I like ducked in to see what color it was, but that was about it. No, no. Okay, so we're saying no. Okay, let's just do something fun. I actually don't have a plan for this one. I'm just screwing around, but so you definitely can see the texture of the paper on this a lot better. What if we just do the single color? I'm assuming if we do the single color and spritz it, then we're basically gonna have the color move around. Oh, I don't like the smooth side. Ooh. Oh, this is fun. That's really cool. Let's just make a drippy mess. Woo. I see. So in watercolor paper, it lifts much better. I am seeing for sure. We'll try the smooth side on the other one, even though I hate the smooth side of watercolor paper. But let's see what happens if I dry this a little bit and then go back in with something else. And I promise we'll do the smooth side. But the smooth side of watercolor paper is lame. That is my position. I am not a fan of hot press at all. Like, I mean, I understand why people like it for stamping, but it is not my personal watercolor vibe. Although I was watching an interesting documentary or YouTube thing, and it's sort of like watercolor is kind of interesting as a paint because yeah, it gives you much more watercolory vibes. What was I saying? Oh yeah, watercolor is just sort of an interesting. I kind of want to try it with this darker blue. Um, it's an interesting medium because it's got a lot of differing characteristics depending on what you like. Yeah, because here you can see this definitely. That's kind of fun. I do like seeing the texture though. Yes, I swear we'll do it on the smooth side. But what if we went in with, I'll just grab the, whatever this is. This guy. That's fun. Yeah, you definitely get, I mean, like you were, this color in the middle was able to be almost fully lifted. I like this one a lot, actually. It has sort of like a sky and snowbank vibe. Uh, but okay. Smooth side. Let us, well, since we're here, I guess we'll have to do some more teal. So, I know all the fancy Tim Holtz people like to do these gradients for some reason, so let's try that. I am not that fancy, but I can still make a mess. So I guess that's something. Uh, yeah. Oh, I see. 'Cause that really will give you like more of a gradient. Things are kind of a pain in the butt, aren't they? There we go. Note to self, I'm gluing that down with better glue. Let's go in with this guy. Now this is a lighter color, so you can see how it really does, like it does actually color. I think I just want to finish it out with this. Because this to me looks very sky-y. It actually looks like a very nice sort of snowy scene. That's a pretty nice blend. And I'm assuming you could kind of go back in, if you decided you wanted more of anything. So I will say the smooth side blends more nicely. I kind of want more of this middle color though. Going to really, because I feel like we kind of lost the middle, so I want to just put it in more here. Yeah, there we go. That makes me happy. But yeah, I think you definitely get cough drops. Ew. Sorry, Shannon, that sounds awful. But thanks, Jim. I will check out Tim's video on the various looks you can get with them. They definitely, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about them actually. I mean, I think the end result is quite neat if we look at our panels. We got some very different ones. I really like I see the benefit of using like this warped a lot, so I think we will say using a heavier paper is better for this for sure. Because these are the two watercolor ones, and they didn't. Oh, this is watercolor one. So this must be. Yeah, this is the other one. So dry, it doesn't warp, but the blend looked a little. I don't know. The watercolor blends look neater to me. Do we have a? And I think I'm going to stencil some snowflakes over this. I haven't quite decided which one I want to use. I'm thinking the one on the right would be cool. Oh, are we talking about food? Ooh, jalapeno sandwiches sounds good. Have you had good luck with it? I have not tried. I don't think I've tried any of the Tim Holtz papers. Let's get rid of the others. Let's do this one because I think it actually looks more like a winter scene. And I do want to stencil it, I think. Can probably use. Oh, I could use a. This is a snow stencil that's been in my stash for a while, and I think it was actually. Well, let's get our thingy. Hopefully, I have. Oh, well, we'll use our art tape because it's here. I guess we could look. We could actually do the snow in a non-white color, since if we want to sort of keep to the Tim Holtz thing, like I wonder if we could do. We could do like a peacock feather snow and have teal snow. I don't know if Lynn's still here. Is teal snow a thing? Because I'm kind of thinking if you did it in the snow in like this color, it would be kind of a fun graphical element. So I think I'll try that. Um, heavy stock is a must. Is it though? Like I kind of feel like I don't know. On some level, I kind of feel like some of that stuff gets kind of overhyped. But I don't know. It's worth a try. I mean, it's not like I'm not going to buy more paper from somebody, so it might as well be Tim Holtz. I do like the how this sort of performs on a stencil though. Like it feels nicer than dye ink for sure. Or different, I guess I should say. Nicer is not really a great adjective to really mean anything. Let's see if this idea worked out. In cleaning, I found I own a lot of watercolor paper, but uh, uh, that didn't really work here. Let's just let's redo this segment of the stencil a little bit. Um, but if you think it's worth a try, do you know how the price point compares to other stuff? Not that it really matters that much. I feel like, I mean, the Tim Holtz stuff is probably less expensive than watercolor paper, which I feel like is now just sort of always in kind of a, I don't know. The watercolor paper seems to be sort of at sitting in this sort of dollar a sheet kind of range, which I mean, I feel like almost anything crafty would be less expensive than that. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a Ranger affiliate, right, Elizabeth? I feel like someone in our group is. And I love this tape, by the way. This is not sponsored. Uh, and this worked out. So the black heavy stock is like a black hole. It's creamy and takes embossing very way nicer. Okay. Oh, my other paper? It ranges a lot. So it ranges from arches to things which were on sale. Um, although I've been enjoying watercolor so much, I kind of feel like, I mean, I'm perfectly happy to save the watercolor for watercolor. See if I make sure I don't have any excess. I did color my stencil slightly teal, but I don't know. We'll see if we'll see if that washes off later. But I got most of it off. So how are we doing on time? Oh, I should probably make a card out of this. But this was sort of the finished one. This was actually the one with T's suggestion of using this. Um, yeah, words today. What was I thinking? Oh, T's suggestion of using the smooth side of the watercolor paper, which worked pretty well. I will investigate the Tim Holtz paper though, because that would be interesting. And my hands are blue, and we'll deal with that later. But what would be a good other color? So I'd like to make a card out of this. We could do like a matching pearlescent. That's a little too close for me. Let's see what else we have. I would like a like a pale pink might not be too bad. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of neat. It is another pink and teal card, but it's a nice color combo. What do I have here? I have something. Oh, half a sentiment I cut out. The local store. Oh, do you have local store? I mean, I guess you get tornadoes and stuff, right, T? Thanks. For sort of a first attempt, I don't mind it too much. I kind of like it with the, let's cut off a little of the top to leave this because I feel like this looks very snowbanky, and then we can stick a sentiment somewhere in the middle. And I have my paper cutter somewhere. Oh, here we go. And we'll just, oh, that's not, that looks very straight. There we go. That's better. I think I'll save that. I do like the color of this, so I'm sure I can use this somewhere or on the inside of the card, or we'll see. I think this side is more successful than this side, so I'm gonna cut it to 4 and lose a little bit of that side, I think. There we go. And I'm assuming since this is kind of this is a I don't know, it doesn't read oh, there we go. Like it's really interesting. It has a very like shiny look that's quite interesting when you use it through a stencil. Like you get a very defined edge. I wonder if it's you just make sure it's not just dry. No, I guess it just the ink just works that way. That's kind of interesting because I always think of distressed oxide as being very chalky, but in this case, it like has kind of a fun shine to it. And then I think we'll just do it like that, and I guess this is a good time to make sure I have water on my desk. That would make me a little cranky, but you have suggestions on how to clean distress oxide off stuff once it's there? I mean, not paper, but like on, stencils and whatnot. I'm assuming since it's, ooh, that's not lined up at all. Ah. Um, I mean, I'm assuming water will get most of it off, and anything it doesn't get off, it's probably not the end of the world. There we go. That's pretty good. And we can throw a sentiment on that. These I think would actually be neat to like cut into little squares too. Like these would be cool to use as I mean I guess you could just use it as a background panel too. This one I'll definitely stick glue down. Uh or run through the embossing machine. I mean you could probably cut stuff out of this too. But I'm thinking foil would look really cool with this. Ooh, a big thanks, Mike. I do like that. I like that quite a bit. I think I'll do that. Ah, you went, Mr. Glue. Hey, Chow. I think I told you, but I really liked those Better Press cards you were had posted recently. I'm not sure what about them I like so much. I don't think it's just the better pressing. I like the one with the colored pencils. I just really thought was pretty cool. Eh, I kind of like it at the top so that you really see the snowbank. Because I feel like you can see the snowflakes on the bottom a lot better. Except this is crooked. No, it's not. I swear I have a T square that I never use for doing these. But I do feel like whenever you do these like really interesting background techniques, I tend to like to leave the rest of the card unfooled around with just because I like seeing the technique. I don't know. I might change that at some point. I know, like I'm sure if you use these, um, what am I thinking of? Like I'm sure if you use these as a background to a card, or I mean like as an alternative to like pattern paper, it would work really well for that. Let me see. I guess that is pretty much all I have for this evening. Let me see if I missed anything from you guys. Use my pick scan mat. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Oh, I see. Is it like a registered mat or something? Yeah, I agree. When you print things wrong, it's annoying. Although I don't know, lately I've been using my printer to like print stuff I wanted to watercolor, but usually that's sort of ephemera thing. So like as long as the image is aligned to itself, like then I don't care too much because it's sort of like whenever you cut it out, it'll look pretty much fine. And we'll see if I can ever get blue off my hands again. It's always sort of a challenge. Oh, thanks. So I don't know. Like I think it's good for a first attempt. I think Jim was correct that like actually like watching some technique information on how you're supposed to use these things would be helpful rather than just trying them. But I appreciate T and you and Dawn and Jim and others being around to sort of guide me through it. Um, Heavier paper, it definitely is the way to go, I think, just because it's a lot more forgiving. Um, I'm assuming Bristol. I feel like Bristol would be pretty good if you wanted it to be get a very smooth blend, just because it's coated and. I mean, it would be. It's harder to build up things on Bristol, but other than that, it's pretty good. I don't know if I have anything too special. I don't think I have anything new on the event calendar to chat with you guys about. Obviously, the challenge is still running until the end of the month, and I appreciate all you guys who have submitted things. I think last time I checked, we were at like 64 cards, so I think the odds of unlocking the Lynn's prize package at 100 is likely to happen. But, but you guys can make that happen by submitting cards, and that will definitely make things a lot of fun for everybody. Yeah, I guess this upcoming Saturday, we're going to be making more snow cards on Crafty Fun with Friends, and I can think if there's anything else that bears mentioning. Oh, and then we're doing a mystery craft along the week after that. Oops. Yes, I did indeed make a card. Yay, thank you. Yeah, I mean that's sort of where I'm at too. It's like so I have Bristol that I bought for something, and I have Canson watercolor, Arteza watercolor, Arches, Studio uh what are, Studio something or another. Oh, Studio Fabriano and something else I'm not remembering. Oh, I have a bunch of Legion that I found that I bought for some reason. But anyway, thanks, Brenda. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for hanging with me again. We will be back here Sunday next week and we will make another snow card, although I haven't figured out what we're going to do for that one, but we will do something. We may play with um I'm liking the idea of using some of the new floral dyes I have and see if we can't make like a winter floral kind of vibe. I also wanted to try making a distressed sort of snow card in some way. Because I think that snowflake. I found a snowflake stamp, so I think that the technique I used on that deer would be really neat for snowflakes too. So I might do that. And we always have to like, you know, make everything craft card stock because it's just what I do. You'd think I'd be into grunge given how much craft card stock I buy. Like you figure that would have been like the logical place to go, but I don't know. Maybe we'll there have been a couple mini albums I've wanted to try, so maybe we'll do more of like a junk journaling mini albumy something or another. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do something. Oh, I hope you get that sorted out. Ah, well, that's too bad, T. No, no, it doesn't. And Lennox just came to say goodnight. So I will say goodnight to you as well. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. And I will talk to you later on.